Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I share real-life empowering stories like this one every single day. Stories about strength, boundaries, and taking back what's yours. Please hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Like this video if you're ready for a story that will leave you feeling inspired, and let's get into it. Trust me, stay until the end. You won't regret it. I was sitting in my favorite armchair by the bay window, the one overlooking the rose garden I tended for over 40 years. The afternoon sun filtered through the lace curtains, warming my cup of Earl Grey tea. This was my quiet hour, the time when the house felt truly mine again, after my dear husband George passed 12 years ago. The front door burst open with its usual bang. My granddaughter Emily came in first, arms full of shopping bags from the high street, followed by her husband Mark, scrolling on his phone as always. They'd moved in temporarily 5 years earlier after their flat flooded. Temporary had turned into permanent, and somewhere along the way, the house had stopped feeling like mine. That evening, as I watched my usual BBC period drama at a gentle volume, Mark strode in, grabbed the remote from the side table, and muted it without a word. Then he turned to me. "Gran, we need to talk," he said, not even looking up from his phone at first. Emily hovered in the doorway, biting her lip. "You're getting on now, 83 next birthday. This big house is too much for you to manage. Rates, repairs, the garden, it's a burden. We've found a lovely assisted living place nearby. Modern, safe, no stairs. And to make it all work, you should sign the house over to us. It's the sensible thing for investments, you know? We'll look after you properly." I felt the words land like a slap, though his tone was all fake concern. Emily wouldn't meet my eyes. She just murmured, "It's for the best, Gran." I didn't argue. I never did anymore. I simply stood, my knees creaking a little, picked up my tea, and said quietly, "I'll think about it." Then I went to my bedroom, the small one at the back they'd quietly suggested I take so they could have the master suite. But that night, something shifted inside me. Not rage. Just cold, clear certainty. For decades, I'd been a legal secretary in a busy London firm before retiring. I knew paperwork. I knew rights. And I knew that love shouldn't feel like slow erasure. The next morning, while they were still asleep, I slipped out with my handbag and took the bus into town. I went straight to see Mrs. Eleanor Hargreaves, my old colleague from the firm, now a retired notary public who still did private work for friends. We'd shared many a tea break over the years discussing exactly these kinds of family pressures. "Eleanor," I said over scones in her cozy sitting room, "I need to protect my home. While I'm still here to enjoy it." She didn't gasp or fuss. She just nodded. "Revocable living trust, Margaret. You stay in full control for your lifetime. No one can force a sale. No one can borrow against it without your signature. And upon your passing, it goes exactly where you decide, bypassing probate delays. We can have it drawn up today." By tea time, the documents were ready. I signed with a steady hand. The house was now in the Margaret Rose Thompson Revocable Trust. I was the sole trustee. My wishes were ironclad. But that was only step one. 2 days later, I returned to Eleanor's office. This time, for a formal notice to quit. "They've lived here rent-free for 5 years," I explained calmly. "No written agreement. In law, they're licensees, not tenants. I can end the license with reasonable notice." Eleanor raised an eyebrow but smiled. 30 days is more than reasonable. I'll have my clerk serve it personally tomorrow morning." I booked myself into a lovely boutique hotel in the countryside for a few weeks, the kind with cream teas and walking paths. I deserved the break. The clerk arrived at 9 a.m. sharp the next day. I know because Emily rang me in a panic not 10 minutes later. "Gran, there's a man here with papers and eviction notice? 30 days to leave? Have you gone mad?" I sipped my hotel coffee, watching sheep graze outside my window.
"No, dear.
I've simply gone sane. The house is mine. Always has been. You've had 5 generous years. Now it's time." Mark got on the phone next, shouting down the line about ungrateful old woman and "We've put money into this place." They hadn't. I let him rant, then quietly said, Any damage or delay will be deducted from the deposit you never paid.
Goodbye.
I turned off the shared streaming accounts they used. Canceled the supplementary credit card Emily had for household expenses. Suspended the broadband package in my name, the one Mark needed for his online trading. Silence fell on their end, the kind that makes people finally listen. Over the next weeks, the truth trickled out. Mark's investments were mostly failed crypto gambles. They had no savings. Emily had believed his promises the same way I'd once believed temporary meant temporary. On day 25, Emily came to the hotel alone. No Mark. Eyes red, but chin higher than I'd seen in years. I've left him, Gran. Filed for divorce yesterday. He was using us both. I poured her a cup of tea from the pot. I'm sorry it hurt, love. But I'm glad you're seeing clearly. She cried a little, then asked, Can I visit sometimes? As a proper guest? I smiled. The door will always be open for tea and conversation. But not for living. Not anymore. On day 30, the removal van pulled away. I returned home to open windows, fresh paint, soft sage green in the sitting room, and the blissful quiet of a house that was truly mine again. A month later, I started hosting Wednesday afternoon teas in my garden room. Just a few neighbor widows at first, women I'd known for years who were facing similar pressures from children wanting what's best. We talked about revocable trusts, lasting powers of attorney, separate bank accounts, and the power of a calm no. We shared stories, biscuits, and laughter. The group grew. Someone even started calling us the Boundary Bells. Emily comes every other Wednesday now. She's renting a little flat in town, working full-time at the library, and saving properly this time.
We talk like adults.
Like equals. And every evening, I sit in my armchair by the bay window, with the volume exactly as I like it. The roses are blooming beautifully this year. No one tells me to sign anything over. No one tells me to go to my room. Because this is my home, my rules, my peace. And that, my dears, is the real investment. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories just like this one every day. Drop a comment below. Have you ever had to set a tough boundary with family? I read every single one. See you in the next video.